I am Leo Mark Vidal. I am 26 years old and I live in Malabon City. The question is, should the Sangguniang Kabataan or the SK be abolished? I think so, yes. While I respect and look up to the noble goals of the SK as an avenue for the youth to participate in politics and as a training ground for future youth leaders, I think there are problems in the implementation of the program. We already heard a lot of arguments made against the SK, from corruption to the perpetuation of political dynasties, and I won't go into that. Uh, in this video, I would just like to share my own barangay's experience with our SK in the past. I cannot speak for the SK in general, but from what I heard from other people, it's generally the same. Okay, in my barangay, the SK had not been visible, nor had it initiated programs that I can swiftly recall. Nor were there any SK officers I knew by face or by deeds. In my barangay, basically, you could abolish the SK and no one would miss them. I remember one instance, an election period in the past. I was still in college back then and I was very active when it comes to local politics. I tried to get to know the policies of competing groups and even get to know some of them, some of the officers, the candidates in person. I remember back then when these candidates were making rounds in the barangay, the SK candidates were not even speaking during the campaign. They even appear as having no opinion on the issues as to their respective groups. And when they were asked directly, they gave very hesitant and generic answers and seemed to depend on the adult candidates to expound on their answers. I asked other people about these candidates and no one seemed to know them. I only found out from some other people that these candidates were relatives of the older officials and that they went to local private schools and they live very insular lives. These candidates had no notable achievements in both schools and community, from what I heard. Therefore, I think whatsoever the function is of the SK is, I think the barangay officials can do it, and that engaging the youth need the leadership of those already established youth leaders. I think to be a youth leader, you have to prove yourself first, rather than be elected and only then assume responsibility. Therefore, when it comes to youth leadership, I think we should look at schools, church, and community groups for the real youth leaders, rather than have them elected in elections only and only then wish that they would be credible youth leaders.